Hello loves. My name is Natalya. I am an intuitive reader, astrologer, and I have a message here for you today regarding the upcoming transits for the astrology, as well as how we're going to navigate some practices to help deal with some of the little bumps that we're going to experience on the way as we navigate deeper meaning in our spiritual waters. So if you're interested, subscribe, like, follow, and you leave a comment below of what your rising sign is and what transit you're most excited for, but let's get into it. All right, so starting here, Venus retrograde is going to be from March 1st to April 12th. During this time, we are going to be reevaluating our style, our self-appearance, and how we present what it is that we want to do in the world. We're going to be fine-tuning old projects that help us create a greater impact and how we initiate the confidence to be who we are, to stand on the ground that we do, and to know that we do so not for external validation, but purely because we want to. Now, individuals with fire sign placements, so I'm talking Aries, Sag, Leo, your frequencies are likely going to be getting a few more adjustments in the realm of presentation and performance as you're allowing yourself to be seen, again, with the focus that you are fine-tuning your self-image, not for the views of others, but for the sake of knowing who you are. And this concept is being developed for all individuals right now as we reevaluate the aesthetics of our home, the way that we appear, and how we love our body image. This can be a good time for you to really reconnect to your confidence in your solar plexus chakra, being able to understand what power actually means to you when you come from a place of knowing that we are inherently valuable. Venus really gives us a moment to say, can I compromise my standards with others? Or where am I willing to have the difficult conversations about my values and needs that either do or do not align with what is currently happening? And Aries can be a little bit agitating sometimes in the sense that circumstances might occur very immediately, and we might want to correct a conversation as quickly as possible. But with this comes the opportunity to show surrender. As March is the season of Pisces, as we move through this time frame, and again, Pisces was more February 18th all the way to March 20th, but surrendering our worries to a higher source when we do not know what to do with our communication or our emotional relationship. This is an opportunity for us to step into a higher way of being by acknowledging where we can be in control of our own emotions, by acknowledging and listening to them and holding compassionate space, and where at times we have to allow ourselves to say, this is not my circus or my monkeys, and I'm going to take a step back and allow something greater to unfold. I would also mention here that in the realm of relationships and partnerships, love expressions are going to be on the highlight reel because partnerships during Venus retrogrades, they definitely get a little bit more challenging. There's no two ways about that one. It's an important time for you to really make sure you and your partner are understanding each other's needs to grow and to communicate a level of compassion and understanding for how both of you want to move forward in a relationship, as well as understanding that if this is the person that's going to go on a long journey with you, that they can handle the bumps and bruises when they come. A Venus retrograde for a relationship looks like two individuals sailing on a boat and one of them realizes that there's a hole in the back and both partners need to go back to the ship and patch it up together. So during this time that we might be doing a little bit more patchwork, how can we communicate with our partners how deeply we appreciate the patience they have to listen in and also to be open to communicate and sharing what it is that they're feeling so they feel their highest sense of self. Being seen is very important during this time. And especially because Venus really helps us reevaluate our confidence. Feeling desirable by your lover in the realm of Aries means igniting deeper passions between one another, being safe to have the conversations about dislikes and likes. It's okay to not have to see eye to eye at all times. And this actually is a valuable aspect of a relationship, is being able to acknowledge our differences and that we don't need to be like one another to be able to be passionate and aligned. Something else interesting during this next month is going to be a parallel running Mercury retrograde, as the dates for Venus retrograde will be from March 1st to April 12th. The Mercury retrograde is going to move all the way from March 14th up until April 20th. Mercury retrograde will be moving from March 14th to April 27th. So during this time where we're reevaluating our love needs, our relationships to finances, as well as our communication with partners, also be reevaluating how we communicate and share our thoughts with the world about what we have to think and honor in our expression, what matters to us, and the potency of that creative manner. Mercury will be transiting the sign of Aries from March 14th all the way until March 27th. And then we'll move later to the end of April. Actually, it will be till April 17th, pardon me. So during that time when we have Aries in Mercury, more forward communication and willingness to just kind of say what we need to say, but also acknowledging that an immediate response at times doesn't give us enough to process where we're feeling our sense of self is being heard. And sometimes being heard really has to relate with you hearing yourself. And then when you come from that place of knowing, you're able to share it with others on a deeper level. As we move with Mercury into Pisces, a lot of themes about spirituality, higher connection to source, creativity, the connection to the other side, mediumship, and really a divine unity with others is going to be more present. But also during this time, the illusions that we have allowed to exist about who we are or the version that we think we're supposed to be considered valuable are going to be pulled off. And with Pisces, this can be where logic and actual emotion do not align at times. And we have to acknowledge where a physical circumstance might at times require us to take a step back from losing context to an emotion that isn't relevant to an XYZ circumstance. Being compassionate and showing deep levels of self-forgiveness and compassion are going to be the most important attributes to show ourselves during these more intense transits. Another aspect we will have moving through March is a solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Now, the lunar eclipse, let's start there. March 13th, a lunar eclipse in Virgo. Now, when a lunar eclipse occurs, it involves that the moon has moved and the sun is now in the trajectory path of the moon. And so it creates that appearing of the light over the moon starting to dissipate. Now, when we see this on an emotional level, lunar eclipses are a powerful time for karmic clearings off of the planet. When it comes through in the sign of Virgo, the acts of service, attention to detail, and the focus of day-to-day maintenance of our lives is really emphasizing how we are of service from a place of compassion to ourselves. There might be a lot of emotions that start to build up during this time because this is like a maximized full moon, really giving us a space to sit and observe what is coming up for us about how we communicate. Where is it we can show greater self-acceptance and build and release old habits or routines that no longer serve the new version of ourselves being crafted here. And as a last part, we also have the solar eclipse in Aries on March 27th. And that is going to help us align our higher self with a new level of power, to be crowned and ordained with a sense of confidence that we have what it takes to go forward and to complete our journey. And this might be a very turbulent time of power exchanges or people having to really step into greater sense of self-confidence to work with others, because Aries does not need to be one for all, but it is you acknowledge that inner power and you come from a place of supportive confidence to help make things work and to strive and see yourself grow and expand. And I look forward to that, because for fire signs who might be moving through quite a bit with the Venus retrograde in Aries, this March 27th is going to help us reset a trajectory of how we express that power and light in the world. And for practices during this time, if you are an individual who is looking to help kind of expand your emotional well-being to help regulate and communicate what you're feeling, there is always a space open to journaling the affirmations that remind you of your higher self, how you will move through something. At this moment, I've been carrying a big Indian agate about this big with me at different points in the day to keep myself grounded. And each time I hold it, I set the intention, thank you, Source. I'm stable, I'm emotionally resilient, and I am flexible with the changes necessary for my highest self, and I hand it to you. And I offer that as when you're journaling for yourself during this time, there's going to be a lot more introspection. So with your journaling, being able to sit down and say, I surrender all thoughts, weights, and things, and I give myself the space to authentically align and release anything that does not serve me. In this moment, I clear my mind of any fears, anxieties, and doubts, and I give space to acknowledge them, not as things that are meant to challenge me, but as things that are helping me grow and be aware of the different parts of myself that wish to be heard. And from that context, when we are talking to ourselves, either through journaling, ChatGPT, whatever makes you feel aligned to being supported, we can look at things knowing it is working out for us. There might be some bumps, there might be some bruises, but it is not an end-all be-all. And our higher self knows the way, and we can trust in that as we move. If you're interested in connecting with me personally for an intuitive reading, looking at your astrological chart and seeing what changes are going to be happening for you, specifically based on your signs and your birth energy, then you can reach out to me through the Chakra Shack in Laguna Beach. And I'm available on Monday from 2 to 6 and on Saturday from 1 to 6. And I look forward to hearing from you. You can follow me on my channels at Divinity Inspires on Instagram and at the Rise by the Stars podcast, where I discuss transits, emotional energy currents, spiritual practices, and I bring on other readers and clients to help discuss healing themes in our journey. I look forward to hearing from you, and drop a comment, subscribe, and like below if this is something you want to see more of, and I wish you the best in this journey.